And we are back,
We made
baby.
it. Barely. We made
Made
it.
it.
Barely.
Yeah. What a journey these last
Last hour.
few moments have been.
What have we learned? We've learned that any program can crash and need to be
That's right.
rebuilt, even programs such as dear to our hearts as OBS.
Right.
Right.
I got a lot of work done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad it was productive for you. I I have a mountain of work waiting for me now. So let's let's give everyone their tip and then I'll get back to work. Oh man, how you doing, man? It's been a little bit. We've been, posting that it's summer craziness, family
Yeah.
visiting, schedules getting hectic. What you been up to?
Yep. Man, I've just, yeah, just living the Florida summer life. Yeah, it feels like family's been in and out and just a bunch of things going on. It's
Yeah,
been a it's you know it's been a very exciting summer so far, to say the least.
nice, nice. You got
You
any
know,
you got
lessons
any more
learned,
plans
life
left for
lived.
the next couple weeks before it winds down into fall? We're getting
Mm, there's nothing I can think of at the moment.
okay. Okay. So we should
Yeah,
be back to our normally scheduled time, except for today. We had some technical
right.
difficulties, but we got it all
Yeah,
figured out.
and
But
today's close enough,
it's close
Steve.
enough. Close enough for
So
government work. So.
right,
So,
right.
so we don't have long, but we thought we would touch base. First things first, if you have a topic that you think we should cover, you should reach out to us. We usually do this at the end, but you should let us know. ProPresenter at churchvisuals.com, please,
Give us a
because
heads up.
really this would be like we're getting to the point where we want to serve you and help you in your ministry. So if there's something you want to ask how to do, something you want to ask about in your kids ministry or student ministry, how to do or to train, or in your adult ministry, like ask all those questions. Shake is a pro. Shake helped ran kids ministries and student ministries. He's also now even had some reps in the adult space. And so we'd love to help serve
Right.
you and be a benefit to you and your church. I've gotten some calls to my phone the last couple of weeks about questions. I'd love to, if you guys
Oh
are
wow.
willing, like I'd love for you to just let me know and we could do an actual like touch base about your specific setup and talk something through
Yeah.
for everyone to learn. So feel free to drop those comments or if you have our numbers, text us, call us. We would love for you to let
Mhm.
us know what you'd like to cover.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Also, you can join the Church Visuals Ministry Leader community page on Facebook. And that's a way to kind of hit us up directly, and also keep up to date with all the stuff that's happening in Church Visuals and connect with other ministry leaders.
Yep, absolutely. And we have an exciting, in the coming weeks, we're going to be announcing we have an exciting partnership opportunity that we'll be partnering with for some episodes. So we would really love for you guys to jump in, let us know what you'd like to talk
Mm,
about on that. So, um,
yeah.
what we wanted to talk about today was themes. I've seen some comments recently on different social media channels, and I think maybe it would be helpful to kind of talk about themes, what they are in ProPresenter, how they operate, how you can use them, because they can be confusing because you can use themes kind of almost in two specific ways, and when you use them in one way, it'll be really confusing because it's kind of hidden in the back section of ProPresenter if you're using it that way. So I thought we'd show it and Shake if you think I'm being confusing, let me know and try to explain it better because I
Yeah.
want to make sure people can
Well,
understand.
before we start, Steve, can I've been out for a couple weeks, so can you just give me a quick synopsis of what a theme is and how themes are different from looks?
Yep,
Because that is still one of those things that I'm a little bit confused about.
right, right. So themes are what you would use to format a slide and how you want it to look. So
Okay.
themes allow you to create different ways that you want your slides to look. So they could be lyrics in the lower third, they could be
Hmm.
lyrics on the center of your screen. In essence, you're setting up parameters for where you want the
Yeah.
different text boxes, what size you want those text boxes, what font you want those text boxes, what shadow or elements you want on those text boxes. So in essence, it's saying
Yeah.
if a text box matches this text box on the slide, do this to it. So themes are
Okay.
used in ProPresenter in the past in ProPresenter 6. Themes were used to theme a whole entire song in one way. So let me show you guys that. So if
Okay.
I'm looking at this song right here, We Praise You, you see the lyrics are, center screen. I'm going to make this bigger so we can see this. So you see the lyrics are all center screen with the black box behind. If I take another theme and say, we'll just go down here to this look. If I wanted to go with my Good Friday look, you see how it instantly changed the text to be a different look?
Okay. Good Friday. When you say
That was
Good
my
Friday
Good
look,
Friday theme for last year at a church I was helping.
okay. 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 Okay.
So
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
went and
Yeah.
pulled it just to kind of show you a difference. So you see how it instantaneously changed all my font and everything
Right.
to match that theme right here.
And I think that's what confuses me because the theme affects the look,
Yes, and we'll get
but
into that
but
next. But
looks,
the first thing to
yeah.
know is that like themes can be used to theme entire sets of slides. So let's say you
Okay.
have this kind of a look. I quickly just hit that theme, and now my content looks like this. So, and to be honest, this is where don't look on the right side here because I have a setup going that will confuse you. So let's change this so that it actually is not confusing anything here. So this is where, and I'll get into that next. So don't, if you're like freaked out now, going, "What in the world is this?" This is what I'm going to get into next. Is Protox. I'm going to remove this so we can just see what I'm talking about.
Okay. So those are looks,
Yeah, and
different
I'm going to
looks.
explain that here thoroughly. I just want to show you guys this.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
currently, um, this setup on the screen currently, it looks like this, and you see how this is how
Okay.
this would look on your room screen. Set up like that. So this is how the text would look. You see that? So you see how I
Okay.
have
Yeah.
text with like a shadow text behind it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
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 cool.
that's that's kind of the cool look I've gone to at times. Okay, so but you
Yeah.
see that that's very different than if I were to snap to this look. So I'm just selecting a theme and it's snapping to different looks. You see that? Like it's changed the text
Yeah.
real quick. So I can use a theme to quickly format all of my song slides to match a specific
Okay.
set of parameters. That's what a theme is. And you can use themes not
Got it.
just in songs, you can use themes for sermons too. So where you use themes a lot is in your Bible app. When you type up John 1 1, I'm using a theme to format this content into the specific way that I want it to look. So I'm saying
Okay.
put the verse here, put the reference here, and that way, anytime I hit any verse, Genesis 1:16, it's going to automatically do
Hmm.
the same thing because it's just saying, oh, this text box goes here, this text box goes here. So you can use
Okay.
themes
Okay.
in your sermons, you can use themes in songs, you can use themes as name slides. Like there's not a limit to how you can use themes, but in essence, a theme is a parameter and saying this is how I want this slide to be formatted and look. So it's a quick way to
Yeah.
format everything. So it's
It's the
it's a
style
style. It's like a
of the
styling
slide.
tool that's
Yeah.
used. So like if you've
Okay.
done Illustrator and design work, you can set up template and styles. It's a style look that I'm
And
applying across the
and
whole
guess
thing.
what, Steve? I
You
have.
have so themes can be used, and before 7 came out, this is how themes were used. They were used to change the look of the slide on the screen here, and then you would format the slide how you want it to present. Okay, but what's
Okay.
changed is looks have been added, and this is where it gets complex. So if your church is looking to kind of get into pro or you haven't gotten into pro and you're starting off simple, you probably will start with just this kind of setup where whatever's going out on whatever's here is going out to your screen. That's kind of the base default. So you're not going to be worried about looks and what I'm going to show you next. And if you need help setting this up more simply in your church, just call us up, let us know. We'd be happy to talk you through that and even do that in an episode. We'd happy to set your stuff up on an episode, maybe. So you can
Oh yeah,
simply
that'd be fun.
run your setup with this kind of a setup, with
It'd be like
whatever's set up here is how it's going to show on your screen. There's no change, and that's the
be like
simplest way to do it. Good.
pimp my ProPresenter.
Pimp your ProPresenter. That's right. That's right. Geek Squad, ProPresenter Squad. So, so, but if you're looking, so here's where the next step is. So some churches I think will say, well, I have two screens, and I have the lower thirds and I have the center screen. That's where looks come in, because you now want to tell ProPresenter, hey, I want you to present the content one way for this screen, but another way for this screen. So this is where looks come in. Looks are accessed in the screen panel. Looks, and when you create a new look, which I'm going to create another one for us here, you'll notice disregard disregard this stuff, guys. This is just, I can explain this later if you want to geek out with me for an hour. Set up a call. I'll be happy to tell you about all this. But let's just use program and center. So if you are a church that's like, well, I have a center screen that I want to put backgrounds on, but then I have a screen that I show for my stream that I want lower thirds on, and I don't want to I don't want the lyrics to show up in the center of the screen on my stream. That's where we'll use themes to set that up. So what you can do is go to your program screen, and this column is saying how do you want the presentation to look on that screen. So what I'm going to do is say presentation. I'm going to select this little button right here
Mm.
that opens up a theme,
Oh, okay.
and I'm going to go to modern, and I'm going to
Yes.
select the lower third. And now, if I'm in this look two, it's going to, on that screen, show every lyric as a lower third, no matter how it's presented in your window.
Okay.
And then the same thing, I could go, hey, for the center screen, I would like the content to be like this. I'd like the content to be that double text I was showing you earlier. That's what I set up there. So this is that double text option. I'll show you that in a
Yeah.
second. And the last thing we would do is we would say, do you want backgrounds to show up on the program stream screen? Probably not, because you don't want backgrounds to show up over top of the video. So
Yeah.
you would remove
Right.
the backgrounds, which is the media content. You would leave the backgrounds on the center screen, and then you might choose to get into, there's some reasons why you might select or deselect some of these options. For our purposes today, I'm not going to do that. But what you can see here now is that I've told one screen to show the content one way, and I've told another screen
Hmm.
to show the content another way. So now, here's where the looks get into play. Let's say that I change to that look, and this is where I think people sometimes can get confused. So notice how my text is themed here, right? But it looks different
Yeah.
than the side screen, and it looks different than
Hmm.
the background. So
Okay.
because you're using a look, it's not going to look the way, unless you purposely themed your slides to look the way that one of them is. You could potentially be like, well, my lyrics look like this, but on the screen they look
Yeah.
like this and they look like this. I don't understand why. Well, it's because you're using a look to forcefully change the theme on the fly for you. So you're telling that screen,
Yeah.
only show this content this way. So where that can get dangerous is if you've like set up a theme but the text is really big, and then you try to show a bunch of text. The text could all be jumbled up and go, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's where that can get
But
dangerous, is if you're not.
that's why you test it
That's why you test
first.
it, yeah. So
Yeah.
themes are you can use those to format these slides how you want them to look anyway. Like I can do this right away and change the whole entire look right there. I could go into another look and do this. I'm changing them instantaneously, but if you notice, nothing's changing on the outputs right now. And that's because I haven't changed the look. So
Oh,
you see
okay.
how that's not changing? Nothing's changing. So that's
Yeah.
how you can
Okay.
set
So
up some
that's helpful.
standards. So if you want to like set a
All
standard for
right.
like this is how our lyrics will look, we'll never change from that. that's what I do is I will lock my looks on the screen so that no matter how the song comes in, it will always present the lyrics in the same way. But if
Okay.
you are trying to do something new or different, like let's say you're like, well, I want my center screen to look the way that I formatted it in ProPresenter. Well, you can just remove this and just that, in essence, that's telling this screen, don't change anything about the slide. Leave the slide the way that it
Oh,
is. So now
so
watch
then you
what,
can flop to different
yeah, so now
themes.
watch what happens on the center screen. You see that? So
Yeah.
now it's
Yep.
showing you how you have it. So if I were to change the theme like this, it changes now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. All right. I think that's the last time I'm going to need to ask that question.
It's probably not because I have to. There, I just recently rebuilt a dude a church that I'm helping just got an LED wall and it's a huge it's a really fun thing, but we had to do some building and it was even causing me to rework like what can I do to make that look good and make that look right. So no worries, man. It's
Yeah.
so, and that's what I would say to you is if you're battling this, you know, and you want help, like let us know. Like reach out. We'd love to meet with you and see if we could help you save you some time, or show you what we've done. And
Yeah.
if you like something that we've done, it's very easy to send over files that I've done to hand those off to you. And so, just let us know. We'd love to be a help to you in that. So but yeah,
Yeah.
that's a kind of a crash course. I think the thing that gets people is themes can be in looks, like themes can be used in looks, but they don't have to be tied to a look. Like depending on how your setup is, you
Yeah.
could use themes and never touch a look. If you're a church that just has one screen in the front, you may not ever touch a look because you're like, well, I don't need to change how it like I don't ever need to change how it looks on screen. So it really is
Yeah.
when you're like needing to do multi-screen output and you want to manipulate how things are looking. That's when you'll use looks with themes a lot. So,
Yeah, for me, I think what's confusing is the nomenclature is so strange because when you change the theme, you're affecting how the slide looks.
hmm
But if you change the look, you're affecting the theme.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like it's wrapping my brain around the verbiage
yeah. Well,
that's
you
the
don't.
most
Well,
difficult.
and that's the thing is you don't always. So, like that's what is confusing is like what you just said there. The themes can affect the looks, but the looks also don't have to affect the theme. Like depending on how stuff is set up, it's kind of like
Yeah.
that's where it can
Right,
get
right.
complex. It's how you've set up your system. It's have you know, and that's where it's good to kind of like always think through like, am I doing it the best way possible? Like, and that's where I think we as a community can help each other. Is if you ever think of like, man, I think there's a better way to do this. Here's what I've done. You know, share that. I mean, I was talking with a buddy of mine a couple of years ago at a conference, and he's a big ProPresenter guy, and he led me on to something that I hadn't thought of about how you could set up your screens to kind of do some stuff together. So it's possible to like just networking with people, learn what they're doing, learn
Yeah.
what's working, and maybe there's a different way to do what you're doing. Um, or reach out and ask people questions. I mean, you can learn a lot just
Yeah.
by touching base. And some of the best things could be to like take a video of your setup and like take a video or a screen recording of the way your looks are set up, the way your themes are set up, and show what you're doing and ask what you want to do, and then let someone comment on that. That's usually really helpful because I can see what you're doing and kind of compare it to what has worked for me or what hasn't worked for me. You know, so
Right. Right.
yep. So. So I know
Whew.
it's real quick, but we wanted to jump on. We had some technical difficulties. I've got a meeting here in a few minutes, but we did want to jump on, and I think that would be something that's helpful for churches and themes. If you have more questions, and I mean, shoot, you want to have a Sheik give you some ideas of what looks good on screen, or you want me to help you talk about some intricacies, let us know. We'd love to have you on. Oh no, we're not streaming. Obviously, our glitches have not gone away, guys. I apologize, but. Obviously, our glitches have not gone away, guys. I apologize, but I think we're going to sign off. So, Shake, you have any parting words before we get cut off?
You know what? Even in the midst of glitches, The one thing that never glitches is God's love for us.
Look at you. Amen. Amen.
Hmm.
That's good. Good. Okie dokie. Well, you guys have a great week, and we're here for you. However we can support you in your ministry.